Here's something I've been thinking about lately. I'm busy, like really busy. Real estate, weddings, postal solutions, family, basketball games, all of it. And for a long time, I wore that like a badge of honor. But lately, I've been asking myself kind of a different question. Am I actually building something bigger, or did I just create a really busy job for myself? So instead of pretending that I've got it all figured out, I figured I'd bring in someone who's had a front row seat to how I operate for the last couple of years almost, and someone who's not afraid to call me out when needed. So let's get into it.
You're listening to the Houses and Spouses podcast with Ryan Hamilton. Ryan Hamilton is a real estate agent with Good Oak Real Estate and the heart behind the I Do Guru, helping people build strong foundations, both in their homes and in their marriages. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to the Houses and Spouses podcast with Ryan Hamilton. I am said Ryan Hamilton, real estate agent with Good Oak Real Estate in the Phoenix and Tucson areas, wedding officiant with the I Do Guru, and someone who is currently realizing that there may be a big difference between being productive and actually growing your business, your life, those sorts of things. So before we get too serious and before this lady next to me really goes at me here, I've got a dad joke for you, okay? And I have always wondered if you, Tanya, if you know which country is currently growing the fastest in the world. Which country?
All right. Tell me.
It's Ireland, because every day it's Dublin. Dublin. All right. I don't know if the dad jokes get any better, but I know that the podcast itself will. So joining me today is my business coach, Tanya Bugbee. Tanya and I have been working together for almost 2 years now.
Just over.
Okay.
Yep.
So she has seen a lot of me personally, my business. Funny story though, this is our first time actually being in the same room together physically, which is kind of fun. So I just want to welcome you to the podcast, give you a chance to introduce yourself. But thanks for being here. So yes.
Thank you, Ryan. I am so excited, and it is so cool that we are like live, right?
Yes, I exist. You exist.
I love it. We exist. We're not AI generated kind of thing. Because normally we coach on Zoom, where most of my clients, well, none of my clients live near me. None of them.
Not now, especially because you're in Oregon.
Now I'm in Oregon.
Yeah.
When I was in San Diego, that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So one of my best clients.
Yes.
Favorites.
And I've got a little something for her for saying that. So just real quick before we dive into the conversation, a funny story about how I actually got introduced you. I don't even know if you remember this, but I was in the San Diego airport after a Brian Buffini event, and one of your clients at the time, I don't know if she's still coaching with you or not. She is. She overheard a conversation that I was having with another agent, may have even been Tori, just about how I just fired, for lack of a better word, fired my coach.
Right.
And then she kind of tapped me on the shoulder. Hey, I don't mean to eavesdrop, but I know this person, blah, blah, blah. And so I think I reached out to you like the next day or something like that. And then you reached back out to me and we had some conversations and then
the rest is history.
The rest is history. So, and just to be clear, you're a business coach. You coach mainly real estate agents, but you coach all kinds of business people, right?
I do, actually. I have a roofing company, landscaping company, a financial planner. However, most of my clients, a good over 80% of my clients, are in the real estate industry.
Okay.
Lenders, realtors, brokers.
Yeah.
In fact, I just signed on a new brokerage last week.
Okay.
So yes.
Very good. So just to kind of give people context out there for this. So let's just start here. I feel busy all the time. Like I feel like I constantly have something to do. I'm starting to realize that business or being busy doesn't always mean that your life, your business, whatever is growing. So from your perspective, am I actually scaling a business right now, or am I just kind of really good at being busy, or am I somewhere like in the gray area of all that?
You're moving in the right direction, right?
Okay.
So yes, most people that come to me, in fact, I did a discovery call yesterday with the real estate agent, very busy. They've created a really expensive job. Like you said, it's a very expensive job that eats up a lot of time.
Yes. Okay.
And going to real estate school, you do not learn how to run a business or even have the mindset when you leave real estate school that I am the CEO of my own business.
Sure.
It doesn't exist.
Sure.
And that's a big ball drop.
Yeah. Okay.
Hence, that's job security for me. So,
yes. That's why you're coaching.
Yes.
And I feel like maybe that is some of the areas where, I can get stuck, or other agents. And, I don't know who's going to see this podcast. Normally it's for my clients and that sort of thing. But I will share this with some of my fellow agents. Because a lot of what we do as real estate agent, it feels productive in the moment, but it's not always productive. Like it's just sometimes it can be busy work. Like, oh man, I cleared my inbox today. What an accomplishment. I didn't reach out to 5 people to see, you know what I mean? So what am I doing right now that or more generally agents, I guess, doing that actually feels productive, but probably isn't productive and may not be moving the needle that we think.
Yeah, great question. And that is what happens is that we start working, well, especially if you have clients, right? And of course, that's where your superpower is, Ryan, is like the knowledge you have for your clients is phenomenal. Okay. The care that you give to your clients is phenomenal. And you start working on the actual transactions. And that's your job, right? That's what they hire you for, right? And you do a great job. And where the ball gets dropped is I'm the CEO and I still need to grow my business. I still need to work on my business. Yeah. And it happens time. And again, you're normal as everybody else is. I had a call the other day. For the last 2 weeks, I've been working on these listings. I've been working on these buyers. I'm like, okay, where's the win for being the CEO? Yeah. And on a scale of 1 to 10, it was like a 1. Yeah, right. For sure. So that's the growth.
No, I get it. And we've talked a lot about my current leads are largely coming from my database, but not in the way that we really want them to. It's more like repeat clients and that sort of thing versus. And it's not always this way, but versus the referrals that are my clients, my database is giving me these new people. And so I know I've been working on,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like a focus of bringing on more people. So, so let's get uncomfortable for a second. And again, I give you full permission, mainly because I have the power to edit this podcast later. Just kidding.
I have no power.
Yeah. It won't be me. It'll be Chantel. But you've worked with me for long enough, a little bit over 2 years. What are my blind spots, or what are my areas where I'm either just whatever?
Well, I don't know that I would call it a blind spot. Where I see opportunity for growth, where everybody has their own speed in coaching. So where I see where we focus next is building your business relationships, going deeper with realizing business owners own homes. They know a lot of people that are probably going to be selling their homes, be it either a painter or a contractor, a plumber or electrician. So growing those relationships and sitting down with them and saying, how do we help each other grow? Actually having those conversations. Yes. Not assuming that's what they're going to do.
Just assuming that they just know that. They just automatically know that I'm the guy.
They don't.
So yeah. No, that's good. That's good feedback. And that this probably is right along the same lines of that, of that concept. But where would you say that I kind of get in my own way the most?
Feeling that you're being pushy.
Okay. Yeah.
Feeling that I'm being pushy, or they know I want a referral. Yeah. Where that's just the story you're creating. Yeah. Where you might have a phenomenal potential person in your sphere that might think, oh, he doesn't go to
whatever part of town.
That part of town.
Whatever part of the valley.
Or he doesn't do that price range. He doesn't do 1-bedroom condos. And you do. Yeah. So sometimes there's just a disconnect with, or he's too busy. Yeah. And you're not.
I'm never too busy for your referrals.
He's never too busy for your referrals. Yeah. So that's the area of growth too, is maybe a little more education.
Yeah. Well, and we and not to get too deep into this podcast, but we talk a lot about the personality testing. What's the name of the one we use? I'm a facilitator.
Yeah, that's the real strengths.
Real strengths. So it's not personality testing, but yeah. So and part of that, as I'm learning more about it, is just the uncomfortableness of the ask, right?
Correct.
And that's where I know that's where I am. Yeah. So if you were me for the next 90 days, what would you change first? What would you be doing differently?
I definitely would be reaching out to the people that know you, love you, trust you, that you've worked with, and let them know that you would, what do I need to do to earn your referrals? Or what can we do? What can you do? What can you do to help them? And who else do they know that need help. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're good.
Right? So it is just asking.
Yeah.
And most of them are going like, oh, of course, right? We didn't know you needed them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're going to go, oh my gosh, I wish I had done this sooner. I promise.
Yes. No,
$100 on the table that
know.
you're going to call me. And I'd like you to create a list of business owners and where you have holes. Like, do you have a divorce attorney? Do you have a dog walker? Doesn't matter. I'd like you to start creating that list. And
I should have already done that, but
I know.
Yes. Okay, good. That's good.
That's
all.
That's
all,
what I want to see.
Yeah, that's all good actionable steps. So, and this again, probably a similar kind of follow up. But if I actually want to go next level, and I do, so my goal this year, my goal for the last 2 years has been more transactions than I've done. I haven't met my goal yet. In fact, I talked about this in my brokerage, and I talked about it a long time ago. But last year was the first year that I ever actually hit what was my goal the year before. And so it was a certain number of transactions, and I hit it. And it wasn't the goal that I ended with, but it was the first time I actually got to that level. And now my goal is 10 transactions above that. And so I don't know if this is the year. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I know that I've within reach to beat my all-time high, which may not be my goal, if that's what
Yeah, and we are celebrating.
Yes,
for that. Yes.
And I think, I don't know, it's... if I'm trying to get to the next level, I think those are the kind of things that I need to do. But if I, what else? I mean, what's something I probably don't know yet or probably don't fully understand that's going to matter once I can kind of get to that level? So if I'm really building my business and really expanding, what do you think I need to know when I get to that, those numbers that are a lot more than what I'm doing right now?
Well, you're going to want to have a backup band because I know you're going to get there, right? That I have no doubt that you're going to get there. And that is, leaning into adding people to your, real estate family, your client appreciation program, add people to that, grow your business to business relationships because they want referrals as much as you do. So those referral conversations are so easy with business owners because they understand.
They get it. They're doing the same thing.
Right. Yeah. So that's where I see the next level of 10 more transactions is from them.
Okay.
And then celebrating with them, having a gathering for all your networking people. Like I have a client in Colorado Springs that has a coffee truck once a year that comes to her parking lot. Mm-hmm. She's with RE/MAX and it comes to the RE/MAX parking lot and they just drive through, get a coffee. They, have a conversation, keep on going to work.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's going deeper with them.
Okay.
And then realizing, and then you have a phenomenal assistant that you're not a one-man band.
Yeah.
Unless you don't want a family, right?
No, unless exactly. No, and
I want you to have one.
That's an interesting segue too with Chantel, who you kind of convinced me that I knew that I needed an assistant, but you kind of walked me through the process and kind of convinced me of being able to kind of let some of the stuff go, which is amazing. She does fantastic. And yeah, unfortunately, she wasn't able to be here today, but I know that we're going to talk to her again to kind of help me get to that place. And she's fantastic. So shout out to Chantel. You're probably watching this. As you're editing this a little bit later. She just edited. I rapid fired like 3 podcast mini episodes this week, and so she's awesome. kicking ass on that. So. Well, good. This was fun. This is, we get a little more probably, there's a little more cussing in our normal calls, and maybe a little more directness, but I appreciate you being on here. Appreciate you taking the time. I know you've got a daughter here that lives in Queen Creek.
Yep, I do. And a grandbaby who's 2.
That's awesome.
Tweaked my knee. Yes.
I love it. Well, good. Nice and simple. And I'm going to do something now as we close this out that you're constantly asking me to do, and that's make the ask. So if you got something out of this episode and you think someone else might share this episode with them, even if you didn't get anything out of this episode, share the episode, like the podcast. We're on 3 platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And more importantly, if you know of anybody out there that's looking to buy or sell real estate, I would love to have a conversation with them. Send them a 3-way text. Give me an intro. And especially if you're a business owner, here we go. And then I'll say this too. I call her Coach, but Tanya and I have been working together for almost 2 years now. And a lot of the stuff we talked about today, those are real conversations that we normally are having kind of behind the scenes on our Zoom calls. So if you're a business owner, if you're a real estate agent, and if you've ever thought about working with a coach, I'm happy to share my experience, all of it, everything, the good, the bad. There's not bad, but just reach out. I'll have the conversation, and then I kind of want to give you a second here at the end of this just to talk about whatever you want to talk about and how to reach you and all that kind of stuff. So
thank you. I also, work by referral too. So thank you. I appreciate it. Because yes, business owners, we work by referral. And, for people out there that are listening that are real estate agents, I was a very successful top producing realtor for, 18, 20 years. And then found my passion in coaching and giving back. And so it is a passion. I wake up every morning excited to coach business owners, realtors, lenders, brokers to hit their goals and not just feel, but realize they are, badass business owners.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And it is a passion. So happy to have a conversation. And if we're not a good match, I certainly know other coaches that I can match you up with.
Awesome.
We do need to know that we're a good match.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
100%. Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody listening. We'll, Chantel's going to pop up some information, some website information for you and all that stuff on the screen here and in the show notes. But that's it. I've got some work to do, got some stuff to get going on. Thank you for checking out another episode of the Houses and Spouses podcast with Ryan Hamilton, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
This has been the Houses and Spouses podcast with Ryan Hamilton. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with someone who needs it. For real estate help or a wedding ceremony crafted with care, connect with Ryan online. See you next week.